Did you know that more than 80% of decentralized applications in the crypto space require an oracle? This should not come as a surprise. After all, if you want to build valuable dApps with real-world use cases, you're going to need valuable real-world data. Data like asset prices, weather, and information about the outcomes of events like sports matches and elections. Oracles also play a critical role in DeFi protocols, which now hold billions of dollars of user funds. This oracle dependence is why many argue that oracle cryptos are some of the most valuable on the crypto market. The current leader in the oracle space is, of course, Chainlink. However, the Link token seems to have been losing its strength against Bitcoin. So, what could be causing this lackluster price action? Does it mean Chainlink's best days are behind it, or is it a sign that Link is preparing to soar to new all-time highs? All that and more in today's deep dive on Chainlink. Before we head off to Cryptoland, there's some real-world data I need to feed you. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video should be considered financial or investment advice. And just so you know, I also hold Link as part of my cryptocurrency portfolio. My name is Guy, and oddly enough, it seems that I am an oracle of sorts too. That's because I provide the, quote, wise and insightful counsel that is characteristic of an oracle, at least according to Wikipedia. If this is your first time in my presence, hello and welcome to the Coin Bureau. Come close and peer into my crystal ball of everything crypto. You'll find crypto news, reviews, investigations, explanations, and everything in between. If this is the sort of wisdom you're looking for, become a part of the Coin Bureau Club by subscribing to the channel. Be sure to ping that notification bell so you never miss my daily seances. If you haven't already noticed, I've left some timestamps below that you can use to peer into the future and even travel there if you're short on time or just impatient. Any questions? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Right, let's get in sync with Chainlink. It's been quite some time since I last covered Chainlink, so humour me while I refresh my memory. Chainlink was founded in June 2017 by Steve Ellis and Sergey Nazarov. Both are also the founders of Smart Contract, a software company based in San Francisco that develops the Chainlink ecosystem. That said, Chainlink is technically incorporated in the Cayman Islands as Smart Contract Chainlink Limited, SEZC. Keep this in mind as it will be relevant later in the video. Chainlink aims to solve cryptocurrency's oracle problem. This oracle problem is actually twofold. First, cryptocurrency blockchains are unable to access external data by default. And second, the use of any centralized data feeds would nullify the decentralization of the smart contract or application using the data feed because it would have a single centralized point of failure. Naturally, the solution to this problem is a decentralized dataset provided by dozens of trusted entities that are given economic incentives to fetch their data being requested by a smart contract. This is essentially what Chainlink is. It is the middleware between real-world data and data on cryptocurrency blockchains. As such, Chainlink has both off-chain and on-chain components. Off-chain, Chainlink is an ecosystem of oracle nodes that connect to cryptocurrency blockchains like Ethereum. On-chain, specifically on Ethereum, Chainlink is a series of smart contracts that allows developers to request data for their dApps from the aforementioned oracle nodes. The Link token is used to pay oracle nodes for data feeds and will also eventually be used for staking by oracle nodes to ensure they provide consistent, high-quality data feeds. There are dozens of oracle nodes for each data feed, and developers can choose to use one or multiple nodes based on their personal preferences or the competitive prices offered by nodes via their bidding process. The Chainlink mainnet went live in May 2019, less than 2 years after its September 2017 ICO, which raised a comfy $32 million worth of ETH. Since that time, Chainlink's ecosystem has grown exponentially, along with the valuation of the Link token. Today, Chainlink provides 75 price feeds to over 300 smart contracts and decentralized applications in the cryptocurrency space. But this is just scratching the surface of how much Chainlink has accomplished, and most of these accomplishments have taken place in the last few months. While I was recording my previous video about Chainlink and the Zeus Capital FUD in August 2020, Chainlink announced their Community Grants Program. This initiative essentially seeks to supercharge the growth of Chainlink's ecosystem. Chainlink has since funded 19 different grants related to research and development. Notable grants include those for the native integration of Chainlink on Tezos, Near Protocol, Solana, and Avalanche. Chainlink even gave a grant to the Link Marine to build and manage a website for Chainlink-related news. Now, to my understanding, this marks the first time that Chainlink has provided funding to a Link Marine. I'll leave a link to the Community Grants application in the description if you think you have a valuable idea for the Chainlink ecosystem. In September 2020, Link was added as a collateral option to issue the DAI stablecoin in MakerDAO, adding more utility to the token. But October 2020 is when things really started to pick up for Chainlink. For starters, BitGo, the company which issues WBTC, the largest wrapped Bitcoin token on Ethereum, partnered with Chainlink for proof of reserves. This means that users can be confident that the WBTC in circulation on the Ethereum blockchain is actually backed one-to-one by the Bitcoin held in custody by BitGo. If you're unfamiliar with Bitcoin wrapping and WBTC, I recommend watching my video about that by clicking in the link in the top right. At the end of October, Chainlink launched a new product called Chainlink VRF. For those unfamiliar, VRF stands for Verifiable Random Function, which is required for RNG, aka random number generation, something that's frequently used in video games. Chainlink now offers on-chain VRF and off-chain VRF provided by Oracle nodes for any developers building gaming dApps on Ethereum. Now, as far as I know, RNG did not exist on Ethereum prior to Chainlink's VRF, marking a huge milestone not just for Chainlink but the entire Ethereum ecosystem. November continued Chainlink's milestone momentum with the announcement that Trust Token, the company which issues the TUSD stablecoin, will be using Chainlink for proof of reserves. You can now easily check whether there is enough USD backing the TUSD in circulation on Chainlink's dedicated data feeds website. Shortly afterwards, it was announced that Matic had become the first cryptocurrency blockchain besides Ethereum to natively integrate Chainlink's data feeds. By the end of November, the cryptocurrency space was begging for Chainlink, but not because of its barrage of positive developments. About half a dozen DeFi protocols, including Compound Finance, Harvest Finance, Cheese Bank, and Acropolis, were all hit with flash loan attacks in October and November. Over $100 million worth of cryptocurrency was lost. Now, as some of you will know, calling these large-scale arbitrage trades attacks is not entirely accurate. This is because it just involves exploiting price differences between various DeFi protocols. Usually, this just involves borrowing millions of dollars worth of one cryptocurrency on one DEX using a flash loan, selling that cryptocurrency on another DEX for a profit, paying back the flash loan, and keeping the difference. If you're unfamiliar with flash loans and how they work, I recommend watching my video about Aave, which you can find in the top right. Anyways, the problem is that these massive flash loan trades are not a good look for the DeFi space. When retail investors and institutions see a headline explaining that $90 million were drained from Compound Finance, I reckon they won't be too keen on participating. In the words of Aave founder Stani Kolechov, it is necessary to measure and mitigate against this risk if we want to see any serious adoption of DeFi. This is where Chainlink comes in. Now, more often than not, the reason why it was possible to execute these massive arbitrage trades is not that there is an issue with the protocols involved, but because they are relying on centralized price feeds. In short, many of the DeFi protocols that get hit with flash loan attacks are relying on price data from a single DEX like Uniswap, which makes it vulnerable to price manipulation exploits. Thankfully, the solution is simple. Use an oracle like Chainlink to get price data from multiple DEXs and other sources to prevent these scary multi-million-dollar arbitrage DeFi trades. Dozens of DeFi protocols have since integrated Chainlink and other price oracles to protect themselves from DeFi degens. This has made Chainlink a hero to many, but there are still those who insist that Chainlink is really a villain in disguise. I am, of course, talking about Zeus Capital. In November 2020, Zeus Capital issued a $100,000 bounty payable to anyone who could provide them with information about Chainlink's, quote, illicit and manipulative practices. Why? Well, because they are in the process of putting together a class action lawsuit against Chainlink, presumably for the damages they incurred when they shorted Link earlier in 2020. As all Link Marines know well, Zeus Capital shorted Link because, in their view, Chainlink is one giant Ponzi scheme and the Link token is going to zero. Now, you can watch my deep dive on that debacle by clicking up there on the top right. 1 week later, Zeus Capital followed up with the claim that the Link token will eventually be classified as a security by the SEC in the United States. If this is true, it means that Chainlink will be given the same treatment as Ripple, and the Link token will consequently be delisted from US exchanges and dumped by any large institutional investors located in the United States, just like XRP was. Now, you could dismiss this as more nonsensical FUD on the part of Zeus Capital, but I reckon that this is worth discussing, given that the SEC is in fact on the hunt for other cryptocurrency projects beside Ripple. To be honest, there's no way to know for sure if Chainlink will be targeted by the SEC. This is for a number of reasons. First, even though Chainlink itself is incorporated in the Cayman Islands, it is not entirely clear whether Smart Contract, the company which developed Chainlink, is incorporated in the United States. If it is, this could potentially bring the project within firing range of the SEC. Second, it appears that there were no restrictions on who could participate in the Chainlink ICO, since all funds were collected in ETH. If anyone in the United States is found to have participated in the Chainlink ICO, this too could bring Link within the jurisdiction of the SEC. That said, even if Link is fair game for the SEC, it does not automatically make Link a security. This is determined using something called the Howey test, which I detailed in depth in my Ripple lawsuit video. Yep, you guessed it, top right. The TLDR to whether or not Link is a security boils down to if the expectation of profit, i.e. the price action of the token, is dependent on the actions of a third party, in this case, Chainlink. This causality is pretty hard to establish here, given that Link has actual utility as a means of payment for Oracle services. Once staking goes live, this will add yet further dimension of price influence on the Link token. I reckon this is why the Crypto Ratings Council has given Chainlink a rating of 2 out of 5 in terms of how closely it meets the criteria of the Howey test. Considering the Crypto Ratings Council gave XRP a rating of 4 out of 5, I think we're safe from the SEC. However, I think we will start to see more lawsuits against Chainlink from inside the cryptocurrency space in the coming months. Allow me to explain. In early December 2020, Chainlink and the World Economic Forum released a document that outlines standards for decentralized oracles. Why is this a problem? Well, besides the fact that the World Economic Forum doesn't exactly have the best interests of the average person at heart, the document was written by Chainlink founder Sergey Nazarov, and the oracle standards he describes are those used by Chainlink. In other words, Chainlink is the standard. Competing oracles like Band Protocol do not meet the standard and should therefore not be allowed to work with public and private institutions. When I first skimmed the document, I thought I might be reading a bit too much between the lines, but then I saw this tweet by Chainlink competitor API3. Basically, in late December, API3 was supposed to host hackathons at ETH India Online and Etherpunk 2021. However, they were informed that Chainlink had, quote, bought exclusive rights to act as the sole oracle provider for the aforementioned events, effectively barring API3 from participating in any manner. In the blog post, API3 concedes that both event organizers have the right to grant this sort of exclusive access, but it nonetheless reveals monopolistic practices by Chainlink, and that these are, quote, not limited to events like hackathons, and even extend to some smart contract platforms' rights to employ and/or promote Oracle services competing with the interests of the party proposing such agreements in return for financial compensation. Now, given that API3 has explicitly labelled itself as a Chainlink killer, I reckon there is no shortage of bias from their end. However, this sort of anti-competitive behavior is not uncommon in the crypto space, and I would not put it past any project to engage in it, even Chainlink. If objective evidence comes out that Chainlink has been doing this sort of shady stuff, we may start to see legal pushback from competitors in the crypto space. Although I cannot say for certain what did or did not happen with these hackathons, this apparent incident would help explain why Chainlink has been selling an ungodly amount of Link tokens over the past few months. Back in September 2020, there was a Cointelegraph headline that read, quote, "Chainlink up 30% following 6-week downtrend and developer sell-off." I remember seeing it when I was doing my daily read of the crypto news. I didn't pay too much attention to this article at the time because the circulating supply of Link was still sitting at 350 million according to CoinMarketCap. Imagine my shock when I noticed during my research for this video that the circulating supply of Link was suddenly over 400 million. I started asking questions, and it led me down a Chainlink rabbit hole that I don't think many people have explored. Since Link is an ERC20 token, you can easily track all Link transactions and balances using Etherscan. Now, I found a wallet address that had recently been moving 500,000 Link every few days. When I Googled that wallet address, I came across this Medium post from 2019 by Glassnode that confirms it belongs to the Chainlink team. Back then, this wallet had a balance of roughly 35.6 million Link. By the time I finish putting this video together, it will probably be closer to 10 million Link. Now, moving funds around is no smoking gun, but an in-depth report from Trustnodes from August 2020 seems to be just that. I'll leave the report in the description so you can check it out, but the short of it is that it appears as if the Chainlink team has been selling hundreds of thousands of Link. The report also claims that the Chainlink team is actively trying to obfuscate those transactions, i.e., hide them. A news article from Decrypt speculates that this selling behavior by the Chainlink team is why Link lost momentum in mid-August. When I went back to that Cointelegraph article from September 2020 about the sell-off, it actually details much of what I just discussed. So, where is all this Link going? Well, there are a few possibilities. First, an article from early July 2020 highlights that Chainlink is planning to spend millions on development. It explains that 500,000 Link is being sent twice a month to Oracle node operators, but that this Link is coming from wallet addresses belonging to the Chainlink team, and not from the 350 million Link war chest wallet allocated to node operator incentives. Second, recall that Chainlink has given 19 grants as part of its community grants program. It just so happens that this initiative began on the last day of July in 2020. It is very likely that the selling of Link tokens by grant recipients is part of why Link's moonshot was cut short in mid-August, and why the Link token continues to struggle against Bitcoin. Finally, Libra, aka Diem. Now, die-hard Link Marines will know that Chainlink seems to be the oracle Facebook's upcoming digital currency project Diem will be using to ensure its various tokens remain properly pegged to the fiat assets they will represent. If this partnership does exist, something tells me that it cost a pretty penny, given that the Diem Association has a $10 million membership fee. Moreover, Chainlink's flirtation with the World Economic Forum leads me to believe that the team is looking to partner with public and private institutions. I have a gut feeling that this is where all the Link from those team wallets is going, and it would also explain why Chainlink has been so opaque about how it's been spending its funds. These private partnerships are usually revealed much later in the process. Assuming I'm correct here, it still doesn't change the fact that millions of Link are being dumped every week. Even though I believe in Chainlink as a project, I think the Link token is going to lag during this bull market because of all the Link being sold by the team, recent price action notwithstanding. The question is whether Chainlink's aggressive development and partnership spending will pay off in the long term. Personally, I think it will. What Chainlink has accomplished over the last few months takes other cryptocurrency projects years to match. This is mostly thanks to Chainlink's community grants program, which seems to be just getting started. Given the incredible dedication of Link Marines, something tells me that the community grant to the Link Marine won't be the last one of its kind. Similarly, Chainlink's partnership with Trust Token might just set a new standard for stablecoins going forward. I, for one, would love to have Chainlink provide proof of reserves for stablecoins like Tether, and if the market demands it, it might just happen. Chainlink's expansion into other cryptocurrency blockchains is also going to introduce some interesting dilemmas. Could we possibly see the Link token begin to exist on other blockchains? I think it's possible, and some would argue that it's only a matter of time. Others, however, believe that Link will go to zero before that day happens. Zeus Capital has apparently paid out over $20,000 in bounty rewards to whistleblowers who claim that Chainlink has engaged in shady practices. And if their lawsuit gets off the ground, it could attract the attention of regulators like the SEC. While I think Chainlink is safe on that front, the team's lack of transparency about what they're doing with their Link tokens could land them in hot water. It seems that this secret sell-off has been going on for years, and to this day, Chainlink has not clarified where those funds are going. Now, to be fair, this could be because they're building the sort of corporate partnerships that are not publicly revealed until they've been settled. I just wonder if the price of Link will hold up until these partnerships are revealed, assuming they exist at all. The worst part is that you really can't trust the critics when they're all clearly biased against Chainlink and sometimes outright jealous of the project's success. That said, I reckon it doesn't hurt to exercise caution. I will be watching Chainlink's team wallet addresses very closely during this bull market. If you hold Link like me, I suggest you do the same. If you enjoyed this video, take a second to click that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, consider doing so by clicking that big red subscribe button, and don't forget to ping that notification bell for good measure. If you made it this far, I bet you're hungry for more. In fact, I think I can hear your stomach grumbling from here. Not to worry, I've got just what you need. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and join my insider channel on Telegram on my socials page. If you have some spare change to throw around, well, consider supporting the channel by buying one of these nifty shirts from the Coin Bureau merch store. If you're a true cryptomaniac, you can subscribe to my weekly newsletter, where I dish out the info you need to stay on top of this crypto market. No spam or any other types of processed meat, I promise. Head down to the description for more info about these bad boys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again pronto. Guy, over and out.